Good morning, family. You are loved and appreciated. This is Coach Charlene, and I wanted to pop on really quick before I go to work, just in case no one told you that today. I'm telling you that you are loved and appreciated. But anyway, I had to pause for a minute just because I wanted to just give you a little inspiration on purpose. And intentional inspiration. And so I wanted to talk about this quote that I saw when I was, doing my study. And it says, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's really important because our mind is so important in all that we do. I'm a product of what I think. And so when you can win the war over your mind, the battlefield in your mind, then you're good to go. I was thinking about the word mind management. We have got to be great managers over our mind because that is where the battlefield is. That's where you kind of win or lose the battle in your mind. And if you really think about it as a spiritual person, I'm a spirit, soul, and body. And so my soul struggles a lot sometimes because that's where my will, my emotions, my will, and all of that, the emotional part of us is. And so when you think about mind management, it's my responsibility to manage what kind of thoughts am I thinking. And that's why I kind of talked about the other day, introspection is so important for us to pay attention for what we think, because you become what you think about all of the time. So if I keep thinking and harboring on negativity, then that's truly what I'm going to become. If I'm very fearful and I'm constantly looking at things that feed my fear, then guess what? I'm going to be so afraid that I can't even step out and step forward, even if God told me to step out and do something spectacular, because I've been feeding myself with fear, feeding myself with doubt and unbelief, feeding myself with all of the other stuff. Then it's going to be very difficult for you to move into the things that God has for you. So we need to really look at mind management, and you have responsibility over controlling your own mind. You do. And sometimes, unfortunately, we allow the television to give us vision. We allow the things that we're listening to give us vision. But you have to be the steward over your mind. And in Second Corinthians 20:5, it says, "Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ." So you have to bring those thoughts into captivity. Whenever my mind decides to start wandering on something that it has no business, like one of the things that I struggled with for a long time was worry. Worry, worry, worry. I mean, I would worry myself so much that I would get a headache. And so I had to finally learn how to deal with that spirit of worry. I had to deal with it, or it was, I mean, because it was truly dealing with me because I was having physical manifestations from all of the worry to all of the stress. But man, when I learned how to renew my mind to deal with the worry, then boy, I got such victory out of that. So I'm encouraging you today. It says cast down those imaginations. Look at your thought life, see what you're thinking. If you don't like where you are today, it's pretty much a result of what you have been thinking. And so we have control. We can manage our minds. When we see negative thoughts coming, you can pause it right there. When something happens to you, or say you have a situation that happens or whatever, you have to deal with that or respond to it in a different way. Yes, something may happen, a situation may happen that causes you to get frustrated or whatever, but what are you going to choose to do in your thought life when it does happen? This other one, it says, wait, let me find out what that other one, there's another one I want you. What you feed your mind will become your mindset. And so pay attention to what you're feeding your mind, even today. What are you feeding your mind? When you woke up this morning, what did you do? What were you thinking? What were the thoughts that were in your mind? Pay attention to what tries to overwhelm your mind, because our weapons are not carnal, they're spiritual. Or we can think. We have such power. Like I can just stop a thought. by just saying, no, that's not going to go down like that. I can stop that thought, I can interrupt it. And so you have to start talking back to your own self, because yourself will try to talk doubt and unbelief. I'm talking about that soulish part of you that hasn't been renewed. It's going to always try to say, oh no, you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. God finally gives you something, a next step, and then immediately your brain tries to shut it down. So it's very important for us to manage our own mind. You have to see what files that you've put in your mind. What files have you allowed to go into your mind that's creating your future? Whatever files that like all of those different things, it comes from what we've learned, it comes from what we're reading, it comes from what we're focusing on. That's the different files that we're putting. If I put in a file that says you're not good enough, then that file is going to play over and over and over again until you renew it with knowing that you are enough, knowing that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, knowing that you have been created in his image and then after his likeness. You see what I'm saying? You have to renew your mind with what God actually says about you versus what you think about yourself sometimes, because we have been beat up sometimes by culture and authority, our parents, the world, whatever. It's very easy to accept those thoughts, but you cannot accept and embrace it as normal. You cannot accept words that do not fit you and embrace it as normal. Whenever I hear words that do not fit me and someone tries to speak them over me, I speak crop failure over them, because I know who I am and I'm not going to allow the outside to affect my inside. And that's why your mind management is so important. And of course, here's the familiar 12 and 2. In the message, I'm actually going to read 1 and 2. It says, so here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life. You're sleeping, you're eating, you're going to work, you're walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit in it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God, and you'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognize what He wants from you and quickly respond to it. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you. He develops well-formed maturity in you. Now, this is so wordy, it's so powerful, but what I really want you to see is you'll be changed from the inside out. So when I began to think about things that helped me to transform my mind, once I thought that I was not good enough. So I had to replace that with one of the scriptures or the word of God that fits my particular situation. So if you feel like you're broke, busted, and disgusted, you start replacing that with He supplies all your needs according to His riches in glory. If you've been feeling sick all the time, you replace it with the word of God on healing. You have to combat your mind, because see, your soul, spirit, soul, body, my spirit man knows what to do every day, 24/7, because he's connected to the source. But my soul is the one that struggles, because that's where my decisions are being made. So until I renew my mind with some words of empowerment from the word of God, then I continually have the things that I had in my life that people called me not good enough. You'll never be anything. All of the negative talk that people have said to us in our past that actually has resulted and manifested in our life because we gave their words weight. So it's very important, the words that you are giving significance and weight in your life. I'm more than a conqueror. I don't care what's going on. I declare that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Yeah, there's circumstances going on outside of me, but I am more than my circumstances. I am more than what is going on around me. I can see beyond what's going on around me because I have the mind to want to. I have the mind that says that there is a vision that I have that's so great that I can continue to see beyond my eyes, even though it doesn't look like what I want it to look like right now. When I begin to look beyond my eyes, I see a better future. I'm more hopeful when I can look beyond my eyes, because I'm managing my mind. My mind management, my responsibility is every time a negative thought comes into my mind, I deal with that thought. I do not let it become a part of who I am. Because if you keep taking all of the negativity in, eventually you will reduce down into depression and your sadness, and you can't even move. You can't do anything. So I'm encouraging you in this particular video to manage your mind. You have the power and the ability to do that. There's nobody that has mind control over you, or you should not allow anybody to have mind control over you that you can't think your own thoughts. So you manage your mind and you will manage your life. You're in a tough situation right now. You shift your mindset, you change your perception, you start thinking like him, and he'll lead you out of that destructive lifestyle, out of that situation that you know you shouldn't have been in, out of that situation that you found yourself in. You didn't do it. Um, you didn't try to do it, it just happened. But my point is that your mind can lead you out of the wilderness back into that glory where you're supposed to be. So, anyway, that's your little nugget for today. You guys have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you later. Bye bye. This is Coach Charlene, Moments with Coach Charlene, and I'll see you next time.